Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today on this live presentation. I am Belinda Munoz. I am the advisor for the Nurse Education Department here at Del Mar College, and we are coming on live today to share information with you about our brand new RN to BSN program. We are currently in what I still call our inaugural year, our inaugural class, graduating our first class this summer. We last year was our first year with coming on board with this program, and we had an application deadline last year of April. This year we have made an adjustment to that deadline, and so we are coming on a month later on this cycle because we have extended that deadline date to May 31. So for those of you joining us either live or maybe watching this later on repeat, thank you for joining us. We are going to cover some basic information about our program, courses that we require in your background, what core classes we're looking at. Again, this is for our RN to BSN program, so we do require that you already have your RN license, by the first semester in which you would start in the program. So here in a few minutes, we're going to go on ahead and get started sharing some information with you. I do want to share that I also have Dr. Casey Mabius on with me. She is one of our BSN faculty, and Dr. Mabius will be on with me here towards the ending. Once we start looking at some of the questions that come in through the chat, we will be able to answer some questions, and I'm really excited to have her on with me on this presentation as she can share some of information from the actual program side, from the faculty side, and can speak about what you can expect as you're going through the program. So let's go on ahead and get started. Give me a second here to bring up some information that we are going to be sharing with you. As I mentioned, I do have Dr. Mabius on with me, and our administrators from our department also send their hellos and thank yous for joining us, and that would be Dr. Jennifer McGuire, our department chair, and Dr. Linda Earwood, our program director. Okay, so as I mentioned a moment ago, we have extended our deadline to May 31. That will be for our fall 2022 class. It is a 3-semester program, 30-hour program, set to graduate. You guys would be set to graduate the summer of 2023. Keep in mind that this program is built for the working nurse. We realize that at this point you have your RN license, you are out there actively working in your field, and so this program does have a hybrid online mixture to it, and we'll get into a little bit more details of that as we go through our information, but it is a 3-semester, 30-hour program. So who can apply to our program? First and foremost, you have to have been admitted into the college, into Del Mar College. You would submit your application on Apply Texas, and then you will also have our application process through Nursing CAS. Many of you that are joined in may have graduated or will soon be graduating through our ADN program. Of course, we use Nursing CAS. Many nursing programs throughout the country use Nursing CAS as well. So if you have gone through a program that used Nursing CAS, you do not have to create your account again. You can try to recover your username and password if for some reason you don't remember it, if it's been a while since you've used it, but you should be able to go back and use your same account. Again, you must hold your RN license. Our program is a bridge program. It is an RN to BSN program. So we do require that you have your license by the first semester in which you would be starting the program. For instance, if you are one of our students that will be graduating in a few weeks, if you are one of our level 4 students, and if you look towards the bottom here where I have typed in white, if you are within 8 hours of completing the core, you would also be eligible to apply, so long as you complete those remaining 8 hours. You would be eligible to apply by the end of this month, knowing that you would wrap up those last few hours this summer, and hopefully you pass your NCLEX and you have your RN license by the time that our class would start in August. You must have earned an ADN degree, an associate degree in nursing. And again, that goes along with having your RN license. We are looking for a cumulative GPA of 2.5 in your lower general education courses. Some of them do require a C or better. And here is a listing of the courses that we require. Again, if you happen to be one of our students or having had taken your core here at Del Mar College, or if you are currently attending a college university that uses the Texas Common Core numbering system, then these would be familiar to you. I will go through them quickly. On the left-hand side of this listing here are the courses that we require with a C or better, and that would be Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2, English 1301, General Psychology, one of the 3 state of Texas approved core speech classes. Introduction to Ethics is what we prefer. If you happen to have Introduction to Philosophy in your background, we can work with that. Basic Chemistry and Microbiology. So all of those courses on the left-hand side, as you're looking at the screen on your left, those do require a grade of a C or better. Additional core classes that we require listed on the right-hand column is English 1302, Math 1342, which is statistics, Lifespan Growth and Development, Psychology 2314, American Government and State Government 2305 and 6, History 1301 and 1302, and a Creative Arts course. We do have one more free elective that we require, and we can work with this one as well. We are looking for either Pathophysiology, Health Professions 2201, which is a 2-hour class, or a combination of Education 1100 and Kinesiology 1164, being that each of those are a 1-hour course. Okay, so either HPRS 2201 or one of each, Education 1100 and Kines 1164. Now, back when our catalog changed over from 2018 to 2019, we used to have a course on our degree plan titled Kinesiology 1238. When we shifted over to the 2019 catalog year, that Kinesiology 1238 course was replaced with Pathophysiology. If you do not have Patho, but you do have Kines 1238, we can work with that class as well. Okay, so let me shift back here just to give you a quick recap. Basically, we are looking for the entire core curriculum that is listed on our Associate of Arts degree. You do not need to have this wrapped up into the Associate of Arts degree. You can apply without the Associate of Arts degree, but you do have to have each course individually. Don't let that confuse you with the associate degree in nursing, which is the actual nursing program that we do require. Okay. Here is a little recap. And as you play this back, you might want to pause this video at this moment, or if you schedule an individual advising appointment with me, I can review this with you. This is how we will be calculating your points when we are reviewing your application, when you apply. So we are going to look at the GPA of the courses that are listed as requirements. Okay, so we are going to award you nursing GPA points based on where your GPA is on those required courses. Then we are going to look at assigning individual grade points. So we have assigned a point value based on that particular course's grade, an A or B or C. This is how we are compiling your points for the BSN program, which is different than how we compile that for our LVN and RN program. So if you, again, have gone through our program, make sure that you study the differences here on our point system. A quick little touch up here on nursing CAS. Like I mentioned a while ago, if you have either gone through our ADN program or another nursing program that happens to use nursing CAS, remember that you can transfer your application into a new application. You do not have to create a new account. Remember that nursing CAS is a third-party online application. They do not share information with Del Mar College. So you do have to send transcripts of every college and university that you've attended directly to Nursing CAS. Our deadline date is May 31. One of our staff members that will work on getting your applications put together for the admissions committee, which is made up of nurse education faculty, does allow a few days after the deadline date for those transcripts to arrive, but make sure that they are requested before the May 31 deadline date. Some of you may currently be taking classes right now, and it would be wise to, if you are not taking any summer courses, and if you will be requesting those transcripts, you may want to wait to request those transcripts after final grades are posted. And we're in the midst of finals now, so you may want to talk with the registrar's office about that, about a time frame of when your grades would be posted before you send that out to Nursing CAS. Remember that Nursing CAS does have help center information on their tutorials, little videos that show you how to complete each section, and make sure that you are looking through those, okay? We want to remind you to make sure that you are listing everything on your transcript entry section. Make sure that all of that is complete, as complete as you can get that to be, looking at those videos and making sure that you are inputting the information as it is requested, okay? You are, again, sending transcripts directly from the colleges and universities that you've attended to Nursing CAS. Supporting documentation can be uploaded in the program materials section, and that is going to be your RN license, immunizations, and the core performance standards worksheets. Okay. Selection process. So we rank your applications on a point system, and that is going to be, the total point will be your nursing program GPA, but plus your individual grade points that are assigned to each individual grade that you received in those classes. Okay. Additional points to consider. We will use the most recent grade if you happen to repeat a class. Remember, we are looking for you to have your RN license already, so there is no entrance exam that's required. We are ranking you on a point system. Keep in mind that once your Nursing CAS application has been submitted, you can only go back and update maybe like contact information, upload a document that maybe didn't upload correctly or was kind of fuzzy or something like that, but there's very limited information that you can go back and make corrections on. So if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, please reach out to me or to my counterpart, Christy Bettis. Some of you may know Christy if you are already one of our nursing students, but please reach out to our office after the deadline date. If you're not sure of some document that you submitted, it might be something that we can work with, or it might be a minor correction that we can allow. Christy can make a call to Nursing CAS and have them open up that application, give you a certain amount of time frame. I think they give you like 24 hours or something like that to go in and make a correction. But please don't wait until after decisions go out to reach us and say, I think I uploaded an incorrect document. So just be in communication with us if you think you had something that didn't upload correctly. And then decisions are expected to go out early summer. This is what the program will look like. So it is, again, a 3-semester program, and it is in 8-week sessions. Okay, so within the first semester, within the fall semester, you will have the first 8-week component and then the second 8-week component. The similar format will follow in the spring semester, where you will have 6 hours in the first 8 weeks, 4 hours in the second 8 weeks. And then going into your third semester, which is the summer, it will be a long summer. It is a 12-week semester with you graduating from the program at the end of summer. So again, I want to highlight that this program is built for the working nurse. It is, again, in 8-week sessions. So it makes it feasible for you to work and go to school and work towards that next step in your nursing career, because it is built in 8 weeks. into 8-week format, and it is a hybrid online format. I do have one correction on here that I didn't make before we went live. In semester one, we have, between semester one and semester two, we have swapped out nursing 3351 from your first 8 weeks and nursing 3301, the health assessment. Those two have changed. So nursing 3301 is now in the fall. Nursing 3351 is in the spring. So these two have swapped over. Okay. Let me share a little more information with you, some additional points to consider here. Again, I keep repeating that the curriculum is designed for the working nurse, because if you happen to be a student that went through our program, we expected you to have open availability on your schedule pretty much all day, every day, Monday through Friday, because our traditional LVN and RN program is built differently. You're learning a lot of skill at that point. So the RN to BSN program, again, we understand that you are working nurses at this point. It is a hybrid virtual format. We do have sometimes that you are expected to come onto campus to complete a clinical on campus, but for the most part, there is a lot of flexibility. Our faculty have virtual office hours set. They do allow you to work at your own pace, being mindful of due dates as you're going through the program, but deadlines are provided at the beginning of the course. So you can take a look at your personal calendar and things that you have going on, outside of school, outside of work, and work ahead. If, you happen to have some time off where you can get ahead on some assignments, it certainly has that flexibility. APA style is used in all courses, and I'd like to remind you that you do have the accessibility to use some of our student services like our Stone Writing Center, where they can take a look at papers that you've written and give you feedback on how to make some of those papers stronger with either, grammar or your writing and content, and they take a look at all of that. So keep in mind that, writing will be expected as you go through the program. Dr. Maybe is here when we get into the chat part and the question and answer, can speak a little bit more about time considerations. There is a required lab component to the health assessment course. The community clinical and the leadership clinical does have 48 contact hours. There's some flexibility, and again, Dr. Mabius will speak about that and what community organization we're currently working with on that aspect of it. And then also would like to mention that there is a professional project that's required in Nursing 4354 that requires an on-campus poster presentation as part of your final project. We do also have a book bundle that's required at the beginning of the program. Okay, so here is my contact information. The 698-2809 is our BSN office line. You also can send emails to the BSN email account. If you want to schedule an appointment with me, my email address is bmunoz20@delmar.edu. Please send me an email, and please mention either on the title of the email or on the body of the email that you are interested in the BSN program. And if you think that you can make that May 31 deadline, please mention that on that email. I have published advising times that are on our website, but my unpublished advising time is time that I have reserved specifically for BSN students. So please let me know when you email me, because we are in the height of our summer and fall advising and registration right now. So I am receiving a lot of emails and phone calls and meeting requests, advising appointment requests. So please let me know that you are a possible BSN applicant so that I can make you a priority on my non-published BSN advising time that you don't necessarily see on the calendar, because I hold that time specifically for you guys, since we do have this deadline date at the end of the month. So again, here is the program in detail. I'm going to break away from this. If you give me a second here, let me break away from this for a second. And before we go into some question and answers, I just want to take you into our website and show you where, taking a peek on time here, see how we're doing on time. I just want to show you where we have some of this information. Everything that I had on that PowerPoint is on our website, and I want to show you quickly where some of this is at, and then I want to turn over into the third part of our presentation, which is our question and answer, because I really want, I don't know how many of you are viewing. Once I go live, I'm not sure how many we have out there viewing us live, but if we do have an audience live, I do want to be able to cover some questions that you might have. Okay, so our email address for the BSN page is delmar.edu/BSN. Takes you directly to this page here. If you scroll down towards the bottom, there's some additional links here you can go into. When you click on the About RN to BSN, you will see this video here, which was a Facebook Live from last year. We will soon replace that with this one. If you click towards the bottom, if you click on some of these banners here, you're going to see admission requirements prior to application. And here's a listing of the courses that I listed on my presentation a bit ago. This is the core. Don't forget that we have that additional course. There's also information in here, excuse me, about vaccination. Elective, the Health Professions 2201. Here's some additional information for requirements after you're accepted into the program. Application guidelines. Pay particular attention here to these links that we have embedded here for NursingCast. I highly encourage you to click through these, spend some time reading through this. NursingCast is not a difficult application. It is just going to take you some time. It is not the kind of application where you are going to be able to sit down and do that, you know, in a few minutes time. It is going to take you some time, as you do have to upload, you know, some documents in there. So make sure that you're reading the tutorials on and all on how that is expected to be completed. Okay. On the left-hand side, if you click here on RN to BSN education plan, again, here's, you know, a different listing of all the core. But in addition, we also list the actual, and this is where you're going to see the free elective. Okay. And then you're also going to see the coursework for the BSN program listed individually by number that shows you the entire degree is 120 credit hours. Okay. So again, guys, our application deadline is at the end of the month, May 31, which is a Tuesday. I don't think I mentioned it on this one, as I have in other presentations I've done, but the deadline is 10:59 p.m. Texas time. NursingCast is over on the East Coast, and they are an hour ahead of us. So don't let that catch you off guard. Hopefully you're not waiting until the very last minute, literally, you know, to submit your application. But I understand sometimes things happen, and for whatever reason, if you have to be on NursingCast on May 31, be mindful that Texas, the application will close Texas time an hour earlier than the Eastern, than the East Coast. Okay, so 10:59 p.m. Texas time is the deadline that you want to make, because once that application closes off, it's automated. So as we're all sleeping, that application is going to close off, and you won't be able to submit it after that. Okay, so be mindful of that. Okay, how do our questions look? Do we have some questions that came in through the chat feature?
Belinda, it's Casey. I do not see any questions in the chat at this time.
Okay.
But if you'd like, I can speak a little bit about those courses.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you.
And if questions come up, hopefully we'll be able to answer.
Okay.
So as Belinda stated, the first 8 weeks of your fall semester, there will be NURS 3301, which is the health assessment for the RN. In that course, there will be some um, lab time on campus that will need to be completed. The first time we had the class, we had that lab on Tuesdays at around 5:30 to 9:30. We're considering that as a possibility again. So there will be lab for that class for the first 8 weeks of the fall. But this is an excellent opportunity not only to apply what you're learning in class, to network with your classmates and know who's in your cohort and get to know each other, and having some time to bond really helps you support one another as you move through the program. Um, in the spring, you will have your first clinical class. That'll be in your second 8 weeks of the spring semester, and that's your community and public health nursing clinical. And in that course, the difference between the ADN program and this RN to BSN program is that we do not designate a place and time that you go. So maybe in level 2, you were told you're going to this hospital on Wednesday at this time. That's the big difference. We have a facility in the community that we've partnered with, though the opportunity for you to go there and spend hours and participate in working with that facility, you can really schedule that on your own based around your work schedule. So it does have that flexibility. And the same goes with the summer course, the Leadership and Management Clinical, which is NURS 4161. That also has 48 contact hours. And again, the time and the clinical activities and the experiences, you're able to schedule those around your work schedule. So you can hopefully balance that work and life and school, all of those components. So I hope that helps. Anything else you can think of that I should address regarding the courses? I do not see any questions.
Dr. Mabius, I know when we did this for our program students last week, and I'm sorry about putting you on the spot, but I can't remember. What did you mention was the average cost for the book bundle?
The book bundle will be around $975 for the
Okay.
fall 2022-23.
Okay.
I do see a couple questions on Facebook, and perhaps you can answer these. One question is regarding seniors graduating in May. Are they able to register for summer one without grad transcripts? I'm not
Are
exactly
these,
sure.
by seniors, do we mean high school seniors? Because I understand not everybody joining in may be um, in-program students already or RNs out in the community. I'm assuming that means high school seniors. I'll answer it based on that assumption. If it's high school seniors asking about enrolling, yes, you can. I've already advised some seniors, and we will take a look at what information you have at the time you meet with me. Some students have already met all requirements, taken the TSI test, and I have already, advised and registered high school seniors at this point, which is a smart idea because you're securing your classes early. And I'm still encouraging those students to attend summer orientation because there's a wealth of information. Um, I really do think that that's probably what they're asking. If if you are in a nursing program now, and remember, this is open to anybody to apply to that has an RN license. It's not just Del Mar RN students. So if you are attending, let's say you're graduating from another ADN program in another city and you're joining us live now, as long as you are within 8 hours of the core. And again, you can schedule an appointment with me. So long as you will take your NCLEX this summer, earn your license over the summer, have your license by the time our class starts in the fall, or by the time the program and the first class starts in the fall. And if you are within 8 hours, you can take the remaining courses. Let's say you were missing a creative arts class and a history class, for example. You could take those two this summer and still submit your application by May 31. So I think I covered both options that it might possibly be. If it was not a high school senior, it might be maybe a college senior coming from a university, maybe. I mean, a senior at a junior college, I mean, earning an ADN degree and then trying to do a BSN program.
They responded yes, so I think that's
Okay.
probably correct.
Yes, we are welcoming high school seniors. So it's good to get started this early because there's testing involved, there's the financial aid process involved, and then we also want you to know of our orientation dates and attend one of those. But yes, we can register you early.
Another question you might be able to answer is regarding speech. Does speech 1315 count as English 1302?
That would have to be answered in a very in an individual advising appointment. We have had some schools that have allowed substitutions on a speech class for an English. So I could answer that on an individual advising appointment. You can reach me at bmunoz20@delmar.edu. Let me bring that page up again. Here's our contact information. Send me an email at bmunoz20@delmar.edu. I can advise you via email, via telephone, via a Teams meeting. We can set up a virtual meeting if you need that face-to-face interaction, or you can also come into our office. So we're pretty flexible right now in that regard. So yeah, set up an appointment with me and we can take a look at your credits. And so we can go through the entire list and make sure that you have every class that's required. There is still plenty of time to register for either summer 1 or summer 2. And in many of those core classes, we do have a lot of flexibility where you can either take them online or in person. At this point, I have not seen too many classes closed. Please reach out to me as soon as you can, as early as you can, because if you're working full-time throughout the day, we do have some online options where we can get you scheduled into some of those classes.
And now there's one other question maybe you have a response to. It's regarding financial aid. If we are at maxed hours with Del Mar, is financial aid being adjusted for that, for this RN to BSN program?
I would refer you to the financial aid office on the technicalities of that. I do know that as a BSN student, you do qualify for financial aid, but again, some of that would have to be answered individually through them. And if there's any forms that are required from me as the advisor, there are times that I have to submit and a degree plan, like a signed degree plan, and I have to give a calculation of how many hours are required or left to complete in the program. But I can't say yes, absolutely for everybody or no across the board because I don't know all of the financial aid rules, so I wouldn't want to speak for them. But again, please reach out to me if you're not sure how to contact them. Please reach out to me and I will give you the contact information of who can help you. Okay. On the surface, I say yes, our BSN students do qualify for financial aid. But if there's some hours that you have in question or the amount of hours, and if it's a process that needs to be worked through, paperwork that's involved, I will get you the information that's required.
I believe that was the last question I'm seeing right now on Facebook.
Those are good questions, guys. Y'all are testing me today. Those are good ones. Okay, so keep in mind that we have, what, about 3 weeks? Oh, it's Cinco de Mayo. I'm like, what is today's date? Yeah, so we have 3 weeks and 3 days left to get your application in. Let me, okay, I guess it's not sharing. I thought it was. You have about 3 weeks, 3 days or so to get that application in by the deadline date. So sorry guys, I'm not reading the right screen here. I was sharing. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so you have about 3 weeks left in this month. There is still plenty of time, especially if you think that you're like 1, 2 classes away, maybe 3 classes away, or you're just not sure where you are with the Corps. If it's been a while that you've graduated, again, please reach out to me and I will go through that list with you individually as best as we can. If you are not a Del Mar previous Del Mar student, but if you have copies of your transcripts, or if you can go on the portal of your previous college or university that you've attended, if you can print an unofficial transcript, as an advisor, I can work with that listing just to advise you and have something to work with on a listing of courses that you've completed. Of course, for the admissions process, you will have to submit official transcripts, but if you can get even an unofficial list just for us to take a look at until the official copy gets here, we can work with that. But we will sit down and spend some time with you and take a look at what you have, and go on ahead and get that application started. You still have plenty of time. You have 3 weeks left to get that application submitted. So if there are no other questions, I don't think we have anything else that came through, right? We're good. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for joining us. We are, excited. We are, wrapping up, or almost wrapping up. We are wrapping up our second semester, I should say, of our inaugural class, going into our third semester. So we will be graduating our first BSN class this summer, actively taking applications through the end of the month for our second BSN class. Certainly, it's been an exciting time for us, having gotten this program off the ground and seeing it come to life. And here we are a year later now preparing for the second class. So we are here to help you. If I'm not available, and Dr. Mabius is, or if you want to speak with either one of us, or you want to speak with Dr. Mabius more, please let us know. Please reach out to us, and we will get you scheduled in and try to answer all your questions with plenty of time for you to get that application. So again, on behalf of the Department of Nurse Education, Dr. McGuire, Dr. Earwood, our entire nurse education faculty and staff, thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to receiving and reviewing your applications. Thank you. Have a great day.